Hi guys, and welcome back to Flipping Motors UK. Starting off with a bit of a video here of the auction that's coming up at WB and Sons. So this week it's just a bit of a cars and coffee meet. We're going to have a look around some of the cars prior to the meet and before the auction, sorry, and see what we think. Some interesting stuff here today, so let's have a little look around. The Corvette being one of my personal favourites, it's just absolutely beautiful. Let's look at all the chrome as well. Fantastic. Let's have a look around some more of the other cars. What we'll do is we'll try and look around some of the lots that are going through the auction. Personal favourite, we've got a Range Rover Classic here. I'm not too sure what the colour is, but it's really stood out to me. It's a bit different. And also you've got the wheels that are contrasting. It looks pretty rot free. Very, very tidy example. This will be going through the auction next week. Be an interesting one to have a little look around. Still got my coffee, so I'm not going to be going around looking around the interior at the moment, but it looks a fairly tidy thing. Leather's a little bit cracked, but underneath is the main thing when it comes to these cars. But yeah, massive Range Rover lover myself, so it's really stood out to me that. Got a lot of more up-to-date cars, everything from a couple of Jags, a couple of Mercedes as well. But one thing that really stood out to me is the old Fiat 500. Is it a 600, this one? Let's have a little look. So it's a 1963, it's a Fiat 500 Gardeniera, factory right-hand drive. Looks like it's got a bit of a sunroof, if you'd call it that. The funny thing is just how tiny it is. I mean, this is the estate, this is a practical one. And just look at it next to a modern Audi TT. I'd go as far as saying it's hilarious, but honestly, it's really stood out to me, this little thing. I do like the Fiat 500s. I sold a few myself. Obviously with the Puntos, which is probably in better nick than mine, isn't it? But there we are. Looks a very well looked after example, really. Pretty tidy for its age. Alfa Romeo GTV. I love these in that navy blue colour. I'm not exactly sure what it's called again. I am no expert on these cars, guys, so let me know in the comments if you know more than me, which I'm sure you will. But it is a 3 litre V6 Busso engine, and we all know these sound and look absolutely incredible. It's got the tan leather interior, looks fairly tidy, but it also looks like it has been a used modern classic. The guide price is £3,000 to £4,000 on this one, and I think it'll be worth every single penny. One of my favourite cars so far. It's not part of the auction, but hats off to whoever's built this car. It is absolutely fantastic. It's a 944 turbo, and it looks absolutely perfect. It's not a standard car, but I think everything they've done to this car, from the wheels, the graphics, the interior. See, it's got like the bucket seats and race harnesses. It looks absolutely the part. Really, really nice car. Massively stood out to me, this one. Just tripping over a tree there, but yeah, really, really nice example. Another one that stood out to me is this BMW 7 Series. It's not part of the auction. Individual colour. You've got your monoblock style alloy wheels. It's obviously been lowered at some point. Looks a fairly clean example. You've got the cream interior, and if you look carefully, you've still got the Motorola phone in the centre console. Overall, it's not perfect, but it is a good example of a modern day classic, which is quite clearly being used daily, but being very, very well kept. Here we have a proper classic this time, a Lotus Europa. So fragile compared to some of the more modern cars here. I can only imagine how much fun these are. Another rear engined. Not going to go raking around the interior of somebody's car, but it really, really does look the part. Nice Mercedes here as well. I did like this era of Mercedes. I know not many people are a fan. This one, I've just checked it, it is a C250 diesel, but it definitely looks the part. Something about a white Mercedes. Just a quick look around a Volvo E30 that we found. So it turns out this one is a Japanese import. Arguably the best colour for these. It's a bit tight round here, I'll do my best to show you around. Overall it looks a really tidy thing. We estimate £6,000 to £8,000 on this particular car. Interesting one here, just been having a look around this Mark III MX-5. Obviously a bit less desirable as we all know, they're not quite at that age. Good looking car though, but on this particular one I believe it to be a 2 litre. It's done 188,000 miles. Still looks fairly tidy inside, it's clearly been fairly well looked after. May actually be one to purchase if the price is right. Doesn't look to be rotten. It's obviously had a bit of a touching job round here, but the estimate's only £8,000 to £1,200 for this little MX-5. Interesting. And back to the 80s with this one, it's an old Peugeot 205. This particular one is a diesel engine, which is quite apparent. Tow bar fitted. Look at that interior. It just screams 80s. Look at that. Cracking little cars these. The estimate on this one's only £400 to £600 as well. So it'll be interesting to see what this one goes through the auction for as well. Old E30 here. Took a turn for the worse sadly on this one. It's a little bit rotten, let's just say. If you look here, it's a one owner from new. Showing just 102,000 miles, and it is a no reserve auction. Being a BMW lover myself, it's actually quite tempting to see what this goes for, but being an E30 I'd imagine it's still going to be 4 figures, and for the condition it's in, it's probably not worth it. It'd be just a bit too much work unless you can do it yourself. Inside though looks fairly tidy. I think that's the original mats as well down there. Interesting. It just needs a lot of welding, which is a shame. But we'll see how much this one goes for. Got a lovely little Metro GTI here. Only got 18,000 miles from new. Looks a fairly tidy example. I love that interior. It's only got an estimate of £4,000 to £6,000. Somebody will be getting a little hot hatch bargain there. Beautiful. Lovely metallic red XJR. Of course at this age they were supercharged, and this one looks a fine example. The ivory interior still looks fairly up to date. Really nice place to be. This particular one, it's a 1999, showing 88,000 miles, and it has an estimate of £7,000 to £9,000. Beautiful. Nice little Lotus Elan here. These were the Isuzu engines at 1.7, 1.8 or something. It's a no reserve car. Looks in reasonable condition. Just need a bit of TLC on the paintwork. Doesn't look totally rotten or something. There's a no reserve. Someone could end up with a cheap little sports car with this little Elan. Old Mark 1 Discovery here. This is a diesel engine in this one. Looks a fairly tidy example. The main thing is when you look at cars like this, it's survived. Most of these rotted away and were scrapped years and years back. It's just nice to see something like this still on the road. This is one of the earlier 3-door models, this one. But overall, not a bad condition. And as far as I'm aware, it's a colour you don't see very often as well. So it's a 2.5 diesel engine, fantastic overall condition it's described as, manual gearbox and a guide of £45,000. A couple of old Cavaliers here. I've just been having a look around the gold one. It is in fact an automatic. I think it's an SRI as well. Yeah, SRI, large history file, very original condition. It's a 1984 car, and look at that 80s interior. Recaro seats. It is an automatic. I'm sure this one's been through another auction here. I do recall seeing off another channel. May be wrong, may have been a different car. But we also have another Cavalier. This particular one is a manual. Like the colour on that. E-Reg, so that'll make it in 1988. Sunroof model. I did like the fastback shape of these. This one, it's a CDI, so I'm guessing that's a diesel. Looks a nice original car though overall. Guide price of only £2,000 to £4,000. Here's one that caught my eye. So it's a Mercedes SL 350, probably what you'd call the baby SL. The paintwork looks like it could do with a good buff and so on. Quite a smart interior, fairly well looked after with the grey leather and the wood trim. However, the price on this actually surprised me a little bit. I was still thinking it must be like a £6-7 grand car. I don't know if it's just because it's a 350. But this particular one, £3,000 to £4,000. However, it does say that the electric roof doesn't operate, so that could have a bit of an impact on it. And it really does need a bit of paint work, really. But still, I think quite a lot of car for money with this. A couple of interesting ones here. So is this an L2CV van or something? Not really too sure on these. It looks like it's had a bit of paint work, but overall a fairly tidy thing. Be great for a little business or something actually, if you've got the seats out the back. Could even use it for like an ice cream van or something. Left hand drive. Not much to them inside, is there? But the estimate on this one is about £7,000 to £9,000. It'll be a good little van for a little business, this or something. Little 205 here, a CTI. It is of course a convertible. Beautiful colour. Pepper pot alloy wheels. However, the roof is in a bit of a sorry state. It's going to need a new roof or some heavy maintenance to get this car back right. Of course, Pininfarina style, I didn't know that. Let's not open this one. But you can see you've got all the red carpets and your sports style seats. Could be a good project for someone, but it is going to need a bit of work to get it into its best state. Cortina here, this one is a 1600 GT. Beautiful red paintwork. Looks a fairly tidy example. Maybe slight bubbling on the sills there. Really nice car overall though. It's clearly been very well kept, and just look at that interior. Leather seats, beautiful carpets, very nice place to be. Chrome dials and so on. Not a car I know much about. I'm more your modern classics, but I can appreciate a car that looks like this. And this one, a reserve for an old Ford, was quite surprising. It's just 7,000 to 8,000 miles. It's had a long-term owner. Really nice looking car. Old Bedford CF here. This particular one looks to be a tipper truck. It's showing just 36,000 miles on a petrol engine. Look at that 80s interior. Something a bit different to the usual. Looks fairly tidy. Will need a bit of paintwork on the cab though, and obviously it's had a bit of repairs down here, so could be showing signs underneath. When you look under there, there is a bit of rust starting to show, but in the right hands I think you've got a really nice low mileage truck, something a bit different. Good to see that here today. Interesting one here, just been talking to the previous owner actually. So this is a little Metro. It's only done 3,000 miles from new. Supposedly all the panels are original. It's had a couple of little touching jobs on the paint, but it is absolutely immaculate. The mileage is genuine. I've been told that he paid very little money for this car. He only paid, I think it was about 10 years ago, he paid 2,200, and it was thought to be the lowest mileage metro in the country at the time. It still only has 3,000 miles, very little use to it, and it's expected to reach £8,000 to £10,000. I don't think it will. I think about 6,000 maybe, but we'll see next week. A couple of minis here as well, be interesting to see what they go through for. I've been commanding a premium recently, doing some good money on the old minis. I think especially on this little British Racing green one, that looks a tidy little thing. We'll see what that goes for next week. I've just been looking around this white one as well, so it's an Austin Mini Mayfair, only 12,000 miles from new, and it's an automatic too. I don't know if that'll work in its favour, but with such low mileage, it looks to be in good condition. Be interesting to see what it goes for. Is that original dealer stickers as well there? Something I always like to see. There's one I've never heard of actually, so we've been having a look around this. You can see the Porsche cues on it. But it's a Volkswagen Type 3 fastback. Looks like it does need a bit of love, TLC. The paintwork isn't really the best. But I know obviously, is it rat luck? Is it genuinely like this? I don't know. But either way, it's expected, I think it was £5,000 to £6,000. It is of course air cooled on the rear. Another one interesting to see what this goes for. It's quite a good looking car actually. Couple of nice modern German classics here. The SL55 TT 3.2 V6. I think this is a pre-facelift as well with the cross-slat grille. 2005 Boxster. Nice tan interior on that one. But here the Maserati 4200 GT has stood out to me. These are cars I've always thought these were underrated. Such a fantastic engine, they don't command a lot of money. This one here, so it's a Spider as well, can be a Corsa. It's only 6,000 to 8,000 miles. There's no listed faults. It's going to need little bits and pieces here and there. Obviously the roof needs redoing. Bodywork doesn't look too bad. But I think for £6,000 to £8,000, the 4.2 litre V8 Italian thoroughbred, you're getting a lot of car for your money there. Preferred these with the rear lights on these to the 3,200 as well. I thought they were a much prettier car. Really nice looking car, that one. Here's an interesting one. So a car you never really saw, Honda Accord Coupe. That's got local registration plates, which could indicate that it is a low mileage. There you are. 1995, amazing history file, long-term ownership and meticulously maintained. Despite that, it's only got a reserve of £2,000 to £4,000. Stuff made inside, it all looks in very, very good condition. Smells a little bit damp inside, could be something to do with the sunroof. Look how tidy it is inside. Really well looked after example. Be interesting to see what this goes for. It's a 2.2 litre I'm guessing that's a VTEC engine. We'll have a little look. Got a lovely little Fiesta rally car here. Just been looking at the details of this one. It's a 1660cc Burton crossflow engine, uprated camshaft and timing chain, a large amount of spares included, as you can see in the boot there. The estimate's only £4,000 to £6,000. I think this really looks the part. It should do good money, this. It looks like a ready-built rally car. So it'll be interesting to see what this goes for, as well as this little Escort as well. So it looks a fairly tidy example. It's obviously been painted at some point, not the best job ever. All we know is it's a 1970. I think it's a deluxe, but the estimate is £10,000 to £12,000. I think it should quite easily do that. It's commanding really good money at the moment, so we'll see how that goes next week. There we are. I've had a lovely morning now at WB and Sons up in Newcastle. It's starting to clear up now, so I look forward to the auction next week. I'm going up with Anthony from what do you call his page? Budget Bangers, sorry. So I'll be going with him next week. I'll probably try and get a bit of footage. You might see some on his page as well if you're lucky. But we're going to head off home now. It's my little Punto that I flung the keys at the valeters this morning. Should be about ready. I think you've seen the state of it. I had to run when I dropped it off. But we're going to head home for that now. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. As you know, I'm trying to achieve 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I'd massively appreciate it if you could subscribe, and also ask any of your friends if you feel they may be interested as well. But overall, thanks again. Any feedback welcome in the comments. If you've enjoyed this, let me know. If not, again, please let me know. Do appreciate any feedback. Thanks very much, guys. Nice little Vauxhall Golf there actually as well, isn't it? Tidy little thing. I'll catch up with you next week.